Right there. My favorite Omar.
My
Ladies
favorite?
and gentlemen, this guy is amazing. Thank you for coming. I am so glad to have you here.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about you.
Oh, okay. Well, we can start from the beginning. You know, I moved here from Jersey.
Yeah.
That's where I'm originally from. And I moved here about 8 years ago.
Okay.
And now what I'm doing right now is I'm the team leader, which is a fancy word for someone who runs the brokerage for Keller Williams here in Venice.
Wow.
Keller Williams Island Life Real Estate is the official name and title. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. So coming from Jersey to Florida,
Yes.
got your toes wet in real estate, and then decided to take a leadership role. Tell me why.
Yeah, you know, I was always into real estate. And I tell you this, selfishly, my first 3 years, it's about 8 years total. My first 3 years, I was in it just for myself, right? I was buying, flipping, renting, house hacking, you name it, all the tips and tricks.
Okay.
On top of being an investment banker. And then, you know, about 5 years ago, I decided, you know what, I want to help others with it. And what got me into leadership, I'm going to say this honestly, you know, it's a selfish thing for me. You know how Tony Robbins talks about 6 human needs, you know, people want variety, they want significance, they want, and for me, certainty is one of them. But for me, contribution. I've known since I was 5 years old that it feels good, you know, to do something for others, right? To pour into others. So selfishly going to the leadership role is me being a support person for other agents, helping grow their businesses, supporting the brokerage, making sure everyone stays profitable. But it's it fills my cup. So that's what I mean selfishly. I took this role because helping others makes me feel good.
So that's really cool. So you test drove real estate, you made money, you were successful at it. You go, man, I love this so much. I'm going to do it for others. Then you do it for others, buyers and sellers. And then you rub shoulders with agents, and then you step it one step higher and say, wow, now I want to help agents grow too. So it's a multi-level. You try it first, and then you take your knowledge, and then you help people with that.
100%. You know, they say 75% of all wealth is created through real estate, but the real, it's not just one lane in real estate. Real estate's so beautiful that it's not like a corporate ladder. It's like a tree. There's so many ways you can make money in real estate, whether it's personally on the flip side, whether it's ancillary businesses, whether it's coaching, whether it's owning brokerages, or, you know, selling real estate and helping people.
So real estate became something you wanted to play with for others. Why Keller Williams? What made you choose Keller Williams to begin with? And then what makes you choose every day to grow with Keller Williams?
Yeah, so that is a great question, by the way, because there are a lot of brokerages. I can tell you this, I interviewed all of them, right? And when I left the bank, I have like I gave them 2.5 months notice pretty much. So I interviewed with Keller Williams first, actually, and I felt, okay, talking to the agents and the culture, I was like, this feels like a good fit for me. However, I had 2 months, so I still interviewed every other brokerage, and I kept coming back to Keller Williams. Now they're all individually owned and operated, so that means they might not all run the same. However, Keller Williams, you know, when they talk about it's a company built by agents for agents, that's what I felt, right? And then they have the structure. Is the only successful structure that I feel a brokerage can have to be successful, right? So
as an agent, you found value so much that now you're taking that value and you're spreading it through the world, saving one agent at a time and saying, hey man, did you know about this? So let's talk about Keller Williams. Like, we are a training company here, right? So we're not just here to recruit people like any other brokerages and say, all right, here you are under a brokerage, and go. What do we do? Talk about the technology, talk about our education. That's big. And we have a super calendar coming up this month.
Yeah, you know, the training is so important, right? And the technology. In fact, Gary Keller said this over a decade ago on stage, and he called us, we're a technology company. We're a personal development company. You know, we're the training, coaching, consulting, technology company for entrepreneurs and their clients, right? And the training is so important because think about this, Audrey, right? Learning shouldn't stop after high school, after the 12th grade.
True story.
It shouldn't stop after college, insert degree, right? There's only You're either going to be learning-based.
Continuing education. Licensees, every 2 years, we need to do continuing education. Life evolves, real estate moves real fast.
But, continuing education is the proper term. I think people just see it as a task. Oh, it's something I have to get done to keep my license. But if you actually slow down and take a look at it, they're going over changes in the law, changes in real estate. And it's supposed to increase your knowledge going forward, so you're a better professional to serve your clients.
Yeah.
So you have to be learning-based. What's the opposite
more
of that?
than ever with the new AI and the new technologies and social media and all that, this is painful.
Yep.
This is painful. 18 years I've been doing real estate, and now I feel like I'm starting over and over and over, and it moves so fast and all that. Yeah. So we have a lot of AI training coming up. We have a super class coming up on September 16th. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, September 16th, we have Lauren Lucas.
Yeah.
Lauren Lucas, for those who don't know her, she's an agent herself. She has her team, and she deep dove into AI 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now she's doing over 400 transactions a year.
Wow.
Using AI to create lead magnets and funnels, using social media
so she made herself her own Zillow without paying for it, right? Because
Correct.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
You throw out marketing, Zillow catches it, then sells it to you.
Yes.
So now she is going to show us how to create that marketing piece to send out there, right?
And and I got a preview of her class, and she is, when someone's a great teacher, Audrey, right? They could explain it to her like a 5-year-old.
I need that, trust me.
Right? And she's that good. And she's been on stage multiple times. She's one of the only people who's been on the MRA podcast multiple times as well.
Nice.
So she's a rock star. And, we collaborated with some of our sister brokerages to get her down here.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it free for the agents.
Okay.
Right? Just because you have to. And that's another thing about Keller Williams. We have been in the thick of it for AI and technology and deep diving into it just because we know these changes are coming, right? And you have to learn how to utilize these tools.
And now those trainings that we have, like this one, or training in the offices and all of that, like Keller Williams agent, like if I want to go do training in Lakewood Branch, even though it's not owned by my broker, I still can go do training over there if they have a class there that I want to attend. Yeah. So this is really cool. If I sell outside of where my broker has an office, I can just call in and say, hey guys, I'm going to be selling your town today. Can I please have a conference room? We have no problem doing that. So no matter where you are, there's always a Keller Williams room that can welcome you.
So it's a culture of collaboration. Yes. And by the way, not just in your local area, different states. I've had conversations with other agents that they went and they were able to go into different countries, because we're in it's almost 67 or 68 countries we're in right now, but we're growing nationally.
Oh, I've been to Keller Williams agencies in different states.
Yeah.
I go on vacation with my husband.
Yeah.
And I find a market center somewhere, and I go to their training. I go to their team meeting and all of that. Like, everybody welcomes everybody.
Yeah.
Now, what happens if somebody outside of our brokerage would like to have a class with us? We welcome that, right?
Absolutely. We do welcome that, right?
Okay.
And, and you talk about saving one agent at a time. Sometimes it's giving them the value up front.
Yeah.
You don't have to be with the company to attend a lot of our trainings. We just had a massive, bold class that we had a half dozen agents from neighboring different brokerages.
Yeah.
And then we had a half dozen from different areas outside of Keller Williams also attend.
And that's really awesome, because when we're on the marketplace, like, I'm a real estate agent.
Yes.
I had some guests coming to Bold. It brings the quality of agents higher, right? So the more we educate, the more we train, the easier the transactions are, because those agents that are coming now, they're seeing it the way we are. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's so many brokerages that don't offer classes. They don't offer continuing education ongoingly. Like, I haven't looked at the latest calendar, but I'm pretty sure we have a class every day here.
Yeah, we do. We do. And I say this sometimes, like, we got so much training, and like every now and then I got to put, because I care. I want to see everyone succeed.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear with that. So sometimes I got to pull an agent and say, hey, I love that you're learning based, but go out there and do the thing too.
There you go. Yeah, but it's there if you want it.
Yes.
And then we have a library of classes. If you missed it, we can go click on it, and then we can go review it. And more we can do it on Zoom too, right?
Well, we record most of our classes. We do have a learner's library, right?
Yeah.
So it's good for if you're new to Keller Williams or new to real estate or just want to brush up on something. So I tell you this, I do want to touch on one point here because this is important to me, right?
Yes.
Learning, right, and being learning based is massive, and I think it's crucial to be successful. Sometimes there's a stigma out there, right, and they say, "Oh, Keller Williams, they've got great training, they've got great, coaching for new agents." And yes, we do have for new agents, but it's for all agents. A lot of, like we're talking about Lauren Lucas, we're gonna have some of the best agents. We're gonna have $100 million plus teams inside the room, and we have the best training. Period. That's where the sentence should stop. However, sometimes people who are not part of Keller Williams are trying to tell our story, and I think we need to kind of showcase how awesome some of our classes are more by doing videos and showing them, hey, here's how high level our classes are. We have 20, 30, 40, $50 million producers on a lot of these classes.
Well, talk about bold. This was bold number 9 for me. 9 times I did that class, right?
Yeah.
And here I am, and people say, "Oh, yeah, it's all kindergarten and stuff." No, it's not. Who did we have in the room? We had Kevin Hindley was there.
Yes.
I mean, we had some top.
Tony Baroni and his team, and we had a lot. There
you go.
We finished number 2 in the nation in production.
Wow. So our training evolves too, right? 9 times I did bold. And not one time was the same.
Nope.
And for the most part, they rotate the teachers so that you get it in different ways and all of that. So, and I think...
Well, the class changes too.
It does.
Right?
Because it evolves.
It evolves.
Yeah, Keller Williams evolves in the same speed that the market evolves.
We had a lot of AI prompts and videos and social media. All that
these were my favorite.
They were woven all over bold for us.
No, it was fun. It was fun, and it's fun to have newer agents to the company, newer agents to the industry, and not so new, and veterans basically all rubbing shoulders, creating relationship, helping each others, and all of that. That was awesome. That was awesome. So moving forward, talk about recruiting and all of that. So tell me a little bit, how does it go when you meet up with an agent? Like, what is the biggest value that you show? Like, often I talk to real estate agent and they say, well, I don't know why I give my split to my broker. Because all they do is they take the money so that I can showcase, oh, I work for so-and-so and all that. Why should an agent pick Keller Williams?
So, I mean, that's a great question. And I do want to preface it that, it's different for every agent. What I typically find, in my conversations, you have to listen and you'll hear the pain points, and then you do everything you can to try to solve those pain points and make things as seamless as possible, right? Because change can sometimes be hard. Typically, when someone is newer to real estate or starting to build their database in their sphere, and then it might be more about dollars and cents. And there's things you could do to have conversations to make it a win-win for everyone. That's part of our belief system, by the way. That's the first part of our win
or no deal.
That's the number one line in our belief system, right? Now, after people get to your production level and higher, right, when they're superstars like that, they sometimes it's time. It's less about, the split, more, hey, is there something that I'm learning? They want to learn, right? Not everybody thinks they know everything. A lot of people say, hey, I've reached this threshold. I'm doing $40 million, but I want to take it. I see the people who are doing 100 plus transactions to $100 million. I want to get there. I want to be in the rooms with those people. What are they learning? Right? So it's the value piece of either how can you show more value and to increase their business, and or time. And then a third aspect is this business can be stressful, right?
Are you serious?
Yeah, it can be stressful. And what system, model, or tool, which are tried and proven, we wrote so many books about them, right? That you could help put in place for somebody. So that way they get that stress lid lowered.
Yeah, I think that's important. And that was a good thing about saying sometimes it's about the dollar, sometimes it's about the time. I do remember when I started in business every year, I was going for a bigger amount and a bigger amount. And then it became really stressful. And then I sat down with myself and I really thought, wait a minute, how much money do I really need to make? Like, I was having anxiety attack. I was sick. I mean, it was bad. Like, my body was telling me, Audrey, it's enough. So then I started to go I like to make that amount of money. I'm comfortable doing that. How can I make that amount of money and go from 90 hours a week to 60.
Okay.
And I did. And then the following year, I thought, how do I keep that amount of money? And I go from 60 to 40.
Yes.
And then that's where I found my perfect balance. And it's funny how I started sleeping again.
Yeah.
It's interesting how I was not having panic attacks anymore.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting pneumonia every winter and all that because it was too much. So you help agents like that, like 411 or something, like the path of how do you get to where you want to be?
Well, some people might not know what a 411 is, but it's so we start with the 135, we call the GPS.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a one-page business plan.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So the one-page business plan, you write down your goal.
Yeah, so I want to make $200,000, let's say.
Got it.
So $300,000, and so far all I made was 20. How do I get to 200? Is it doable?
It's definitely doable.
All right, so how do you break it down? Tell me.
Yeah, okay, so there's a couple ways, right? For one, you make the one-page business plan.
Yeah.
And I like to take that $200,000 and break it down per unit.
Yeah.
Because that's easier to measure.
Sure.
And then you could scale that based off production that way versus because volume, right? You sell something massive and you hit close to your goal, then you take the brakes off. But you need to know the units you need to hit. So you divide 200,000. What's your average commission? If it's $10,000 for easy math, and you want to close 20 transactions to roughly equate to $200,000 in commission income, and then that's your goal, right? And then now you have
how do you get there?
3 priorities, right? And all 3 of those priorities on this one-page business plan are supposed to lead you towards your main goal, right? And then underneath each priority, right? So like say priority number 1 is lead generation. Yeah. Maybe priority number 2 is following up on leads, right? Yeah. And the underneath each priority, you're going to want 5 strategies. Those 5 strategies have to be measurable and they have to be specific, and you have to
like door knocking, open houses, like what works
to
increase your business.
Exactly. And they have to lead towards what is lead generation. And then if you hit these lead generation metrics, that will help in turn get you to your goals. That's in a nutshell.
So you coach the newer agent, you help, that. What about the top producing agent? Yeah. Like they're not left alone. Like if a producing agent say, hey man, I can't see through my business. This is where I'm trying to go, and I have a ceiling here. So you help with that too. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not me reinventing the wheel, right? We have all the systems, models, tools, and a lot of times, maybe it's a leverage piece, right? And maybe it's a system, but sometimes it's a who, right? Maybe they need to let go of the busy work that's taking up their time, right? So that way they could keep doing the thing that they're phenomenal at, which is creating relationships, having conversations with homeowners, right? And helping them market their property correctly to sell it, or guiding a buyer, whether it's a first time or an investor, into the right property that they're looking for, because they have that skill set. They know how to negotiate. That's their superpower. Yeah. Right? You got to lean into your superpower. If your superpower is paperwork, then that's more of an admin role. But a lot of times you have the top producers who they hit this wall. They had this great capacity to do all this business, and then they get bogged down, caught up spending 50, 60, 70% of their time doing work that really is not making the money.
They could hire an admin.
Leverage.
Okay, so I tell you one thing I hear a lot, right? Yeah. Well, if I hire an admin, they're not going to do it as good as me, right? When you hire an admin, Audrey, you don't just hand it off right away. I mean, there's some companies that do that. But a true system, right? You coach them and you train them up, and if they got to be doing at least 80% to you or better before you completely let go of it. So that doesn't mean you just try to let go of it right away. Yeah,
a little bit at a time.
Yeah, it's
and we have classes for that. Monica Reynolds, right?
Fantastic. Perfect real estate assistant. Well worth it.
Yeah, I did it. I put through 2 of my assistants back in the day through that program. Yes, because I'm not a trainer. Right? Yeah. I was never an assistant. Yeah. So how am I supposed to train an assistant? That makes sense. We are leaders. We are realtors. This is what we do. We don't, I tried to train assistants. It never worked out.
Well, you are a little bit of a trainer. Hold on now. I want to give you your credit. You are a little bit of a trainer. Maybe you're not training assistants, but you do a great job of mentoring, pouring into agents in the office and even agents outside the office, and help guiding them and showing them and motivating them to do the right things to gain more business. So you are it's like a natural thing you do. Yeah. And by the way, that's another thing. We have Audrey Smiths inside of our brokerage and inside Keller Williams who are not scarcity mindset where they feel like this is, I got to hide how I'm doing business. Willing to share, willing to push, willing to collaborate. But that's what
our business is all. Well, this is what our brokerage is all about. For me, it's always share it or you lose it. I raised my family with that motto. I live my life like that. If I have a talent and I'm not sharing that talent, I will lose it, right? Because I won't be practicing it.
Correct.
And by me, if I found a marketing piece that worked, I want to get on everybody's roof and show everybody, hey man, not to show off, but to say, I tried this and it worked, so try it. We're not competing. Nobody's taking away my business, and I can't take away somebody else's business because we all have the customers that we have for a good reason.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. So like, you're of the mindset, I'm of the mindset that real estate's unlimited, right?
Yeah.
Because you think about it, even in 2008, 9, 10, you look at it, the worst recorded real estate crash. It was a real bubble.
I built an empire in a crashing market.
Yes. But by the way, even in the worst market statistically ever, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
If you look at your local MLS, there's hundreds, plural, of closings per day.
Yeah.
The only difference is what conversations you've had, what skills you've built, right? Maybe you shift to a different type of clientele base. Your conversation skills are catered towards short sales and investors in 2008, 9, and 10, and versus another period of time, right? So there's always real estate transactions happening.
Absolutely.
By the millions every year.
Yeah.
By the even the worst markets ever, we did over 4 million transactions. So there's a lot on the table. And really, to make money in real estate, 2-3 transactions a month, you can't grab 20 to 30 transactions. Come on now. That's a scarcity mindset.
There's always business to be
That'll change your life, by the way. That'll change people's lives.
Yeah.
2 to 3 transactions is good money.
When we see when people say, oh yeah, real estate agents are rich, no, we're not. I mean, we work, but I mean, think about it. Sarasota, Charlotte County, average real estate agent will close 3 to 5 transactions a year.
Yeah.
A year.
Yeah.
And so here we try to take that and then we want them to close 3 to 5 a month, right? That's why we have all these classes, and that's why we train together, and our agents, that's why we share all of our successes so we can help grow the agent next to us.
Yeah. And 100, by the way, that's a fantastic point. I do want to say this too, because, how you grow the agent next to you, how do you grow your collective area? How do you, and you genuinely want people to succeed. It starts with, what can you control, right? So I can't control all of Sarasota or Charlotte County, but I can control, the people in front of me, the people around me, people in our brokerage. And I do want to say this, NAR, the National Association of Realtors, at the end of the year in December, they posted up, and this is ironic because the number is exactly the same. I'm going to show the same number, 71%. They said 71% of agents, this is nationwide, National Association, did not close at least one transaction, right? 71%. Keller Williams Island Real Estate, right? Our number was 71%. 71% of our agents were in production.
Wow.
So I take pride in that. That feels good, but it also worries me. But it also shows that, hey, what you control, what you can focus on, you can help people. And what that means, we're 180 the trend. So you could go across the country. You could be one out of 7 agents who don't find any business at all, or you could come here and be one out of the 7 agents who do. Right. So it's that's an important number, but you focus on what you can control.
Absolutely. Okay. I have to run.
Okay.
I have an appointment coming. It's 10:30.
Okay. Yeah.
Omar,
this is
thank
great.
you so much. We're going to do this again. We're going to do this again soon. My favorite Omar. It's not just my favorite Omar. It's everybody's favorite Omar. This guy right there.